lè ṣẹ́gun àrùn gbogbo. Ẹ̀fọn tó gbòòrò adùn lọ́wọ́ àwọn tó rẹ̀rọ. Kẹ́kùlẹ̀ gbà kọ́sà fún toko. Cleanliness is essential. Fertilize your potential. On the sound of times and your initial.
It's 15 minutes gone past 12 today, 18th of December 2024. Good afternoon to you from wherever you're joining. This is Honor 103.5 FM, and you're on to the broadcast called Radio Clinic. So if there's a question that why do we talk about our health, of course we need to talk about it so we can know how to address some of the problems we have in the country, as well as individuals. Talk about our health, my health, your health, and every of those things that we can do to live long. I mean, you don't want to live long, of course we should live long. So how do we go about it? We'll get into the course of this program. And the question will be that what will be the focus for today's particular edition of the program? And it's quite simple, something very common, especially in times like this. This is December, a time to remember. I remember when I was young or younger. I remember people would ask questions, especially when it is Ember month. They will ask the question of, they start praying like, God should save us so that we don't get to die, because there's usually the case of burning, maybe house that is on fire, or accident that is killing a lot of people, and it has been like a superstitious belief among many people. But the same question is it just peculiar to Ember month or not? Maybe that is also a controversy, but also we check into that today.
Really nice. I take it one. I You wanna stay strong. You wanna live long and stay strong.
Alright, so what we'll be talking about today is actually something that kills people. Every year, the lives of approximately 1.19 million people are cut short as a result of this thing we are about to talk about. And it's usually road traffic accident, road traffic crash. But then, are there safety measures? Are there things we can do to bring these things to a stop or a halt, as it were? Maybe there is, or maybe there are many that we can do, but we'll check into that today. Meanwhile, between 20 and 50 million people suffer non-fatal injuries, with many incurring a disability. So road traffic injuries cause considerable economic losses to individuals, their families, and the nations as a whole. And those losses arise from the cost of treatment, as well as lost productivity for those killed or disabled by their injuries. And for family members who need to take time off their work or school or care for the injured, road traffic crashes cost most countries 3% of their gross domestic product. That's how big it is, especially if you talk about the countries in this region, talk about the developing economies of the world like Nigeria. We have road crashes to be a big deal in the country, and that's what we're going to be talking about today on Radio Clinic, an edition of your health program on radio. My name is Andolo. When I'll not be doing this alone, I have the honor of having the doctor of many doctors, let's put it that way, Dr. Babatunde Babasoya. Good afternoon to you today.
How are you? Good afternoon to you.
Very well, doctor. I think I remember one time there was an accident that claimed about 20 people's lives right here in Ibadan. It was a big deal. But then there were questions really as to how those people were not rescued on time. That's even one conversation. But we'll not start from there. We'll start from how to first, maybe let's call it precautionary measures. Okay, of course, there's precaution, there's prevention, there's also maybe managing the event.
So there's promotion, there's prevention, and then there's curative, and then there is rehabilitative. By the time I get to rehabilitative, it means that it don't happen. It don't cast. It don't cast.
So, doctor, let's start with the precautionary measures. Are there things I can do to escape accidents?
You see, let's start with what you just said now. Say 1 million people plus die every year of accidents.
Accident, yes, 1.19.
If you do the math, and remove the 1.19, just say the 1 million alone. If you do the math, there are 365 days in 1 year. There are 24 hours. in one day. So if you multiply 24 by 365, that gives you the hours in 1 year. If you do that, you get something like 8,000 something. You go to 9,000, go to 10,000. If you then multiply that by 60, it gives you per minute. If you put that under the 1 million budget that you have just set now, you realize that 1.9 people die every minute. So every 10 minutes, 19 people die for accident causes. We have not talked about the 20 million people that have morbidity, wounds, injuries. No, life-threatening we're not death only. We're talking about every 10 minutes, 19 people will die. So I think we should find time to discuss
actually.
it.
So something this serious, this severe, this, should we say frequent also?
Yeah, it's frequent.
Yeah, something like this
Yeah.
should really get us into conversations, like getting us into how to really bring about not allowing this to happen often. Maybe, yes, so for some cases, maybe unforeseen circumstances might happen, but for some cases that can be prevented, how well can we prevent it in the first place?
Well, the first thing is that, you see, let's talk about it. Let's divide it into two broad categories. Well, let's be generous. Let's do more than two categories. So let's say road users, let's divide them into people that are pedestrians, walking on the road, pedestrians, and auto-vehicle. Let's talk about two people that have two-wheeled machines. So either you are taking a bicycle, or you are taking an Okada, or you are taking a power bike. There is no difference between the three of them: machine, Okada, power bike.
Machine is Okada.
Machine, bicycle.
Tricycle.
No, not tricycle. Machine, bicycle, power bike.
All right.
A tricycle has a bit of cover, that flimsy metal, but it has its own disadvantages. So we'll put it in its own category, and we will add in that category these little vehicles that are just coming up now, that you see now. The Bolt cars, all these new Bolt cars that are just coming to
I love
now.
them. I love those kind of cars.
Those total cars.
Yeah.
Those kind of cars, they are almost, if you don't know what you're doing, you might actually be in them, and it can actually be a moving coffin. Why? I'll give you an example. If that car should be on the express road, on
it
the
doesn't
super
fly
highway,
express. They don't fly it.
they ply highways, they ply roads where, you see, in Nigeria, don't guarantee yourself. That car was not manufactured in Ibadan. It was not assembled in Ibadan. Somebody brought it from somewhere, and I'm not sure that they've used trailer to convey the vehicle. They drove them down here. So believe me sincerely, you've seen those cars on the express. I have seen them on the express road. So whoever is telling you that they're on the express road, don't let them deceive you.
But by law, they should not be.
We will talk about what the law means, and the law people too. So we have category for walkers, for the pedestrian, for the two-wheel people, for the three-wheel people, then for the four-wheel people, and then for the people that have more than four-wheel. And I'm talking about trailers now. Trailers, trucks. You see those trailers and trucks, they are the ones that will cause accidents. Those ones have So if you are a pedestrian on the street, try and walk in such a way that oncoming vehicles are facing you. Do not walk with incoming vehicles at your back.
At your back.
So walk on your left side. So when you're on the left side, incoming vehicles are coming towards you,
And you are seeing them.
and you are seeing them. Whatever is going to happen, if you see it on time, you can dodge on time. Two accidents happened recently over this weekend, and the two people are dead now. Copper, a car, they were standing somewhere, a car went to rush to just went straight to them, and they knocked the two down, and one died immediately, the other one died later. That's the end of the matter. Now what's going to be happening is that the parents or the people of the boy who drove the car are going to reach out to the people to just be begging Lomak for Junisi. And even if the parents are, will they bring their children back? Even if you insist that yes, that guy had done something, their penalty will see. If he stays long in prison, we know what happens in Nigerian prison. That we would not. So everything can happen, anything can happen. Who gives you guarantee that you get to court and it will happen? So that part of it, walk where you see the cars coming. Don't make the mistake. In fact, it pays you to use the designated bridges, walkways that government has put down for you. There is nobody in Nigeria now that understands the concept of zebra crossing. In fact, most of the zebra crossings now don't exist. So please do not walk on zebra crossing and believe that you are crossing highway. No, don't do it. Remember what they taught us when we were much younger. Look left, look right, look left again. Keep looking as you are crossing. And don't hurry, don't run to cross the road. If you run to cross the road, you might slip and fall down. If you fall down, there is no remedy. And most of the roads now have dividers. So you can cross from one side of the road to the middle of the road, climb that divider, climb the other side, then wait, look left, look right, look left. That kind of a thing. Now, when you cross the other side of the road, it's not look left to, you are turning to look right. Now, look right, left, then right again. You know, because when you came the first time, the traffic was coming from this side. You are looking at me confused.
Not exactly. I have a follow-up question to that, but before you go ahead with that thoughts on that particular crossing thing, you said you should not run, but there are instances we can run, right? But you said the divider. So when you get to divider, I've seen a lot of people. Is divider the same thing as pedestrian road? People would ply that place.
It's dangerous. It's very dangerous. You see, the problem with Nigeria is that nobody designed anything. Do you understand? Outside Nigeria, which is why I don't like watching American films, using American films to do gauge for Nigeria. America, the road for car is different. There is a barrier that they cannot cross. Then the road for
buses, big ones,
is on the other edge. Then the road for bicycle is different. Then the road for walking people is different. So you see, the only people that you can jam as a walking person is to jam yourself. It's not that you go and jam car. But in Nigeria, everything flows into everything, especially if there's a hold up ahead and somebody is trying to be, especially people that are using siren. You see these people that are using siren, those siren people, you know, sometimes oh my God, I don't want to talk about them.
Medical outfits, policemen, security agencies.
Most of the time. These things, you just see somebody, it's not even escorting anybody at that time. He's alone in the car, he's going somewhere. Suddenly there is a hold up, and then the guy just begins to, he just put on the siren, and then and then the next thing you know, the guy begins to put his leg on the sidewalk, it's sometimes criminal, you know. But again, this is Nigeria.
But what's the implication of blaring sirens just in the street?
You see, the reason why you don't do it all the time is that people must get accustomed to the fact that when there is an emergency, it is not the natural order of things. There's an emergency. So, if there's an emergency, you put on your siren, everybody gets out of the way. We know that there is a reason you're putting on the siren. But the guy wants to go and drink beer in that club up there. He's coming from Akobo. He wants to go and drink beer there. It's 7 o'clock in the evening. They start to bless siren for him. Yesterday I saw one of the justices of your state. She's going, but I don't want to mention him. He's going to work. They are blaring siren. Nothing on the road though. They were just blaring siren. The justice is listening. They will hear me because they know that where they passed, that everybody knew that they were blaring siren. They were just blaring siren. Period. Every Tom, Dick, Christopher, Harry, Agbedu, whatever. Once you have small money, you go to the commissioner of police. You say that your life is that they give you 1, 2, or 3 mobile policemen. You blare siren. And in fact, I've been. You know the bad part? That Awolowo traffic stop, that light, they will blare siren and cross the traffic light to the detriment of whoever is on the way. The right of the way belongs to the person that has a green light. And so the green light comes, you want to pass, there's a siren man coming. And in my mind, I'm like, God, one day, please, let somebody very important in government have green light. And then when one of these people hits the person, so that it will be government, they can begin to spare. You see, because with this thing, until it happens to the governor's person, or the deputy governor's person, or the speaker's person, I'm not sure they will understand the concept of what we're talking about here. Because it's so difficult now that even the Okada and the tricycles do not understand the concept of red light stop. So you stop at that red light. You see all the Okadas will go to your front, all of them. They will go to your front and then they will look. They move at the same time. I've seen it in Awolowo. I've seen it at that Premier Junction. That road that goes up to Premier Hotel. That street light, that traffic light there. They just move on. You know? And that is when you now like, where are the security people that are going to to enforce the law? No, you know the ones that are enforcing. They are collecting money up there.
All right, Doctor, let's advance this conversation a bit. This is common. Road accident is common, but much more common is that it happens to more children than adults from the ages of 15 to 29. Absolutely.
You see, the adults know.
So let's talk about this zebra crossing. What is expected of a road user and a road
zebra crossing.
commuter?
You better there is this thing that they said they do every time. They said that they meet the Commissioner of Health and they talk about it. The Commissioner of Health should make money available to you people so that maybe every prime time
they can always orient people.
Yes, you people to start talking about it again. When we were younger, the National Orientation Agency was a federal allocation for the federal government. They did when condom came to Nigeria the first time. Condom did not come to Nigeria before 1990. When it came to Nigeria the first time, they had to create adverts. They did adverts for it. For
that protective.
Yes. Who gets raincoat was one of the adverts. Who gets this raincoat was one of the adverts. I can tell you the first advert was on radio, was on OGBC 2 FM, and I listened to it. In fact, I used it as a presentation for a project, and I won as an advert that was so, because nobody knew what it was before. So government has business telling people, reminding people, especially now that everybody is that kind of crazy now. I don't know. Small children, they will teach them in school about zebra crossing. Small children are bad like that. You teach them in school about, you teach a children believes with his heart that Santa Claus is coming sometime soon to give them gifts. We adults will know better. But they will tell the children in school, zebra crossing, when you're on zebra crossing, no car can hit you. In Nigeria, cars are hitting people on zebra crossing. No, it will be hit and run. They won't even stop to do anything. So please, if government wants people to obey zebra crossing, it is not enough to just paint it on the road and walk. You know what they do now? If you go to the junction, along Queen Elizabeth Road, the Queen Elizabeth Road is one that goes beside Secretariat, First Union Bank Secretariat. That road that goes to Mokola's UCH Road. That's the road. You go through that road. At the end of that road, there is a street light. There is a street light there. At the end of that road, there's a street light there. Traffic light. The reason why the traffic people are standing there is to extort you. If your car, the first car, that's what they're looking for. If the first car should as much as just butt into the zebra crossing, if you don't stop before the zebra crossing for the red light, and your car enters the zebra crossing, those traffic people, they will surround your car. They will say they want to tow your car, that you stopped on zebra crossing, and the only thing they want to do is to collect money from. That's what they want to do. They just want to collect money from you. So, but they are not there to enforce zebra crossing. No, they are not there to enforce zebra crossing. I have seen many times those people, they just stand there, they don't look, and people are walking, and the car just. You cannot be on zebra crossing when the light is green. The Oyimbos at this zebra crossing, there is a light at the pedestrian end of the road where all of you will stand like this. That light will show red. It will do hand like this, red. Then when the time comes, the light will say go. It will point like this, green. Then all of you will cross zebra crossing. So usually a lot of people will accumulate here. Then at go, all of you will move together. This side, that side. That time the cars will be red. Nobody stops them because they've all grown up to expect it. I have seen where people have. I had to hold somebody before to want to cross the river. I said, don't just do it. In Nigeria, forget the things they teach in school. Until government becomes government again, that's one of the things that will happen.
All right.
The next one is the Okada bicycle people. And power bike people, they used to kit up. You know them.
They are protected.
They are protected. So if anything happens to them, their head is protected. You see the Okada people. If I see an Okada man and I see helmet on his head, I know that Okada man is either the owner of the Okada that is riding, or he is a dispatch rider for a company. So I tend to look at the Okada helmet and I look for color. If it is colored in a way, and okay, this is the logo of the company that guy works with. If I know the color, I can say, oh, he works for X company or Y company as their courier, as their dispatch rider. That's what they do. The normal Okada, I have seen Okada people having their
side mirrors,
helmets hanged on their side bars, on their handlebars, and then they are riding Okada. 2 helmets hanging down, the Okada man and his passenger.
Some don't even have side mirrors again.
Rarely do you see the side mirror of commercial Okada. They remove it.
But they don't know it's very important for road use.
You see, nobody wants to do anything. It is the responsibility of government to enforce a law. That's the problem. But the people that are supposed to enforce the law, you see where they are. If you walk to where most of these people are now, what are they doing with the Okada people? Anywhere you see them now. So nobody will say anything about Okada people now.
All right, Doctor, thank you so very much on that. Let's move a bit further into some of the questions I have outlined today. And I was thinking about it also that when we have these issues, I've seen cases where there's a road crash, road accident, and people are gathering around the person. Maybe the person photo. Some will even try to put water. They will try to carry the person all of a sudden. The person you do not know the state of the person. Maybe the health, maybe the neck has broken or something. You just take them.
Even the Federal Road Safety Corps people that lift accident people, and even the police people, they forget their trainings. Okay, so those ones are trained, but they forget.
So step by step, help us through this. How can we manage accident situations?
The first thing that happens in an accident situation is that contain the scene.
What do you mean by that?
Secure it. Secure the scene. Accident happen on the road. The first thing, get police, get uniformed men, divert traffic upstream. You see, it will be suicidal of you when an accident has happened and you are trying to stabilize somebody, the trailer bears down on you. A late colleague of mine died. We were students then. Died. This was the cause of his death. He was coming back to Ibadan from Lagos. The accident happened on the way to Lagos, so they stopped. They stopped on the 2 ends of the road. They were like, accident. So he said, "Oh, I'm a medical student in training. Let me go there, go help." I know he went there. The scene was not secured. The car that was coming to hit him one time. Car coming 80 miles per hour on an highway, vam, against one innocent person. The guy died one time. I'm talking about, this was 97. So I'm not sure if I'm not sure maybe most of my colleagues that will hear this thing will remember him, sha. So because he died one time. He didn't even make it to UCH. But when they bought his corpse, he was not him. He crossed. That's when we knew. So the first thing is secure the scene. The police work is to secure the scene first. Secure the scene against the clowns who are coming to tell, "Hey, Ori Yami, hey," and then you are taking video. "Hey, see brain," and you are taking video. No, you can't help leave the scene. Let the people that know what they are doing go there and do what they're supposed to do.
So the first thing, like you said, secure the scene,
so that next accident, usually worse, does not happen.
While you are protect yourself.
Protect everybody. That's the job of the police. Is not responsible for carrying anybody. Police job is to go there, secure the scene.
All right.
Divert traffic from upstream, divert traffic from down, so that place is enclosed. Put barricades and monitor the barricades. Force. Not that you put barricade and you go out, because a trailer might be coming and his brake will fail, and then he will just crash to the barricade and keep crashing down. And that's not when all of you will know. You will stay there, so that you will direct everybody from time, quickly move. That's the first thing. The second thing is to develop a corps of professionals. Paramedics, they call them outside the country. You don't have to wait for the Tom, Dick, and I on the road. Nobody has time to stop for time. In fact, in medical stuff, if you stop for an accident and the person dies on your hand, you are responsible. But if you don't stop, it's not your problem. You can just keep driving. So, what's the incentive for you to drive, to stop? If the person dies with you on your hand, they will be asking you a question. Just keep driving. Don't blink. But let there be a professional corps, the fire services. Let us go together and interview the fire people in your state now and ask how many of them can you perform a CPR? Can you perform? Somebody is choking. Can you perform a Heimlich maneuver for the person? No.
But they train them on these things. I've seen places where they train.
Well, I don't know what the level of competence of the training is. I do not know what you see. It's not enough to train them once. I say we've trained them. Certification of even those of us that have gone for advanced trauma, life saving, and whatever, we are asked to recertify every year. Every year. So the American people will say every year. So when it's time for you to do your ratification, they write to you, please come and recertify for your certificate. Not that you will carry certificate of 5 years and then you'll be parading yourself around uptown, downtown. No. So that's the second thing. Get a professional cadre. Number 3, there will be times when we are all overwhelmed, and so in that way people will bring help from different areas. So let us have a list. Hope your state has a list of all the practitioners, medical, surgical, whatever, across hospitals, private, government, pub, whatever, so that we know. And then let them have a uniform, maybe an ID number, so that when I get there and I show you my ID card. I can have an ID card from the hospital I'm working with, but I have to have an ID card from Oyo State because I am a doctor in Oyo State and I'm registered.
So you can gain access to.
So yes, I can show you my ID card and I can just say, okay, I just come to help and I walk in. As it happened during the bomb explosion, there was no government parastatal that was going to cope. It took the private doctors to come in, and at that time I was asking myself, if one way comes here, if one person comes here and doesn't know what he's doing, how do we know? We are now to recognize ourselves. That's what we are doing. So we know that we know him. I know him. So because they know me, I'm a doctor. So I know that person. So that person is admitted to the cadre of the doctors. That's why we are doing it. But I mean, there had to be something objective to be done. So you put that there. So that's part of it. Then number 4, there has to be at hospitals. Government must sit down with private hospitals, and this is where people die a lot. You manage to get them out of that place, you manage to drag them into the vehicle, you will not, usually they don't go to UCH because UCH is central, or Adeoyo is a bit far. So if anything happens to somebody in UI Songo UI here and they want to drive the person, they may not get to UCH. There are many hospitals that they will get to first, and the thing on their mind is that this guy is critical, so he must get to a hospital as quickly as possible. So they drive to the first hospital. The guy in the first hospital knows that if he treats that guy, he will waste his resources on that guy. At the end of the day, nobody will pay him for that treatment that he has done for that guy. It is not impossible that guy may die, in which case the burden becomes his officially. So this guy will then look at the guy and say, we need to do an x-ray. I don't have an x-ray machine, but let me just give you one cannula. So you put a cannula and connect one fluid and say, let's go to keep going. There are things that perhaps will have happened that might have saved the guy's life, emergency, whatever, But you see, because governments, one time ago, senators and House of Rep went to pass a law and said that by force, if you bring any accident and emergency person to any hospital, private or government, the doctor must treat that accident and emergency person without asking for money. Then we had the town hall and then we asked them, when it is beyond the capacity of the doctor to treat, should he treat? Should he still treat? Because that is committing ethical violation of the medical council laws. That he should go ahead even beyond the scope of competence. They say really, you have to use your
discretion.
So you gave us discretion on this matter. You didn't write it in the law. But that's where we are in Nigeria. So someone went to pass law, federal law, and then they said they gave you discretion. Discretion was given to us in one small meeting. It was not given on the air. It was not given in the law. So government of Oyo State will sit down with the doctors having private hospitals. In America, when you take an emergency, they have a roster. There's a roster. So we know. On Monday, it is X hospital that gets all the emergencies. When X hospital is filled up, we go to Y hospital, then Z hospital, then X1
and
hospital.
Those are not government hospitals, they are private
hospitals.
But what if the proximity is a bit of
so by proximity, that's how they locate it. So X hospital gets it from this. So by zone, they will have said we can move. So we have 3 minutes. We can move from here to here in 3 minutes. So within that 3 minutes, which hospital will be here?
Within this perimeter.
So they put those hospitals there. I have had a friend of mine who was taken from his house to the hospital, and the hospital is almost just across the street. So they just drove and then entered the hospital. Of course, they gave him the bill. It was, I think, it was $200 for the hospital, for the ambulance ride. He complained till today. He's still complaining about the matter. And then he gave him that $200 bill. It was like, man, he should have walked across himself. Now, as I said, that's the problem with you going to America. In Nigeria, nobody is coming to carry you. You will walk. But you see, they have made that thing. Accident happens on the express road. on the express road, Lagos Ibadan express road, at our own end here, the people are coming, they will, until they get to Adeoyo. Do you know how many things will have happened when you get to Adeoyo?
Blood loss.
So when you want to, at the accident site, if you don't know what you are doing, don't help. Mafitara Ajeshe, there is no emotion attached to medical practice. It is clinical. Somebody has an accident, he was wearing seat belt, a car hit him from the back, bah! It is his neck that has problem. A car somersaulted, and then they go, and then they threw this guy out of the car, and everybody is there, and then you got there, egbe. So of course, two of you will carry right hand, left hand. Two of you will carry right leg, left leg. Then you lift him up like that, abi, and then the neck will just go down, and once the neck goes down, the semi-fractured cervical spine will fracture completely, and then the guy will be paraplegic, quadriplegic completely. Left hand, left leg, quadriplegic. It was not before, but if that had been done by a professional, they will know how to carry him properly, which is what even we see people that are brought by federal road safety, even police, they will have brought them paralyzed, and they will like so kill one. So those that are coming to rescue must know what they are rescuing. That's another thing. It is better to prevent the accidents. Individuals have their things to do. Every morning now, from now till early January, towards the January 20-ish, there is going to be what they call mist, cloud. I don't know, it's not cloud. Cloud is water. This one is just mist. This one is just fog. Yeah, it's kind of foggy
atmosphere.
Yes, you can't see far.
So the driver might not see clearly
at 6 a.m. At 7 a.m.
in the morning,
you can't see far.
Yeah.
That's the first time. That's when everybody wants to quickly dash to Lagos. You want to quickly, so you quickly load your people 6 o'clock. You want to dash down to Ibadan so that you can.
The best bet is to reduce speed at that point.
Don't run carelessly. Unfortunately for everybody now, the roads are pretty fine now. In those days, bad roads are not helping people to have accidents with speed. Bad roads cause accident when you run into a bad road portion of the road with speed. But now that the roads are fine, I have seen people 120 miles per hour Lagos Ibadan express road, and I said, where are you? What is it? If you want to run this fast, go enter a plane and kuku just fly the matter.
Go get Ferrari.
Join
the MotoGP.
Join the Formula 1 circuit. I just go there, do your thing there. So the roads are good now, but the downtown of it is that a lot of people are going to run. Unfortunately, Nigerians will run. The condition of our brake pad, we don't know. The condition of our steering, we don't know. Our tires are too old. The engine is old. Everything is old. So all it takes is one small, for the want of a nail, the shoe was lost. For the want of the shoe, the horse was lost. For the want of the horse, the rider was lost. For the loss of the rider, the battle was lost. For the loss of the battle, the war was lost. For the loss of the war, the kingdom was lost. How did the kingdom get lost? A nail got lost.
That's where it starts. And it's no balls.
And nobody will find the connection in between. You just know that there was an accident and then it has happened. So again, people will do what their people will do. But you see, the enforcement part, that is the most objective. Important. You see, it's not that the people too are normal, sane people. Honestly speaking, I say it anywhere I go. I say it to them too, that they are not sane. They are not normal. They are not humans actually sometimes. When you see them behave, they are just like us. They are white, we are black. Believe you me sincerely, when you put both of us down in a dark corner of the house, you will know that they can be more deadly. But their enforced laws so put them in check that they even sometimes forget that the laws are there. That they think that they are the ones doing it of their own free volition. How you know they are not doing it of their own free volition? Go to where they know that there are no cameras watching them. And then you mess up. You will know that they will mess you up.
All right, doctor, let's get into instances now. I've seen cases of maybe just a little cut, Is there? I know. Well, in school, elementary science, we were taught something called first aid, right? That's like the first precautionary, or maybe let's just first medical attention you give to an accident victim or whatsoever. So, in that case, how do we go about first aid? If there is a cut, for example, I've seen people say tie a cloth around. If you want to help the person, maybe the person will get medical care or attention from institutions.
Yeah.
That are okay. So, how do you go about that?
If you see bleeding, put a pressure on it. Preferably put a pressure, find a cloth,
a clean one,
a clean cloth, and then roll it, and then put a pressure on the coat, on that part of the
on the cut side,
on that cut side of the bleeding, and then find a belt and tie what they call a tourniquet above.
Just
the
explain how
part.
to tie that.
It's as if you are tying your belt.
All right.
So just keep tying the thing until it's squeezed tight. When it's squeezed tight, look for the hole that made it squeeze tight, then put the belt hole there, and then lock it so that it squeezes the tie tight. It prevents blood from flowing down there, so the blood is not lost. However, that's why we say the person that knows should do it. You must mark time. So once you tourniquet the leg like that, if you don't release the tourniquet after some minutes, the leg will die. So you don't want bleeding, but at the end of the day, you will kill the leg. So you must mark the time that you have done it, and know that is it every 30 seconds, every 1 minute. I'm going to have to loosen the tourniquet just a little bit to allow blood to flow. I will maintain pressure on this one. So it is it's a choreographic dance. Everything must balance. That's
right.
one. Two, let's talk about two scenarios. One, somebody collapses. You're just walking across, maybe you are in the at the ATM machine, you want to collect money, whatever, on the queue, and then somebody just collapses. Boom, it's just on the floor. Clear the area. Let there be good ventilation. Remove as much of the obstruction to breathing as possible. So if there are buttoned up people, remove the top button. If a woman collapses, it's better to get a woman to do that part,
to attend to her.
So don't be, because things can happen later. So you just remove the top button and then try and check that she's breathing. It's important. Check, is she breathing?
How do you check that?
There are ways of checking it. One of the ways of checking it is to put your air, your side cheek and your air to the person's nostril and feel the breath come out. You feel it actually. If the person is making the effort, you feel the breath come out. And then check the person's pulse. The pulse are here, or you put your
two
head
fingers on
the wrist, or you put your head to his neck on this side, or go for his chest. Left side of the chest, put your hand on it like that. The whole letter, look for the area where his nipple will be. I'm talking about his.
For a man to man and a woman to woman.
A woman do to a woman. Hey, men, don't do for women, no.
Don't go do past yourself.
Don't go do past yourself. So
all right,
a man,
a bit of pressure just to check.
If you put your hand there, you will feel your own now.
I can.
Yeah. So that thing that you feel, that's your chest. So once that's happening, it means that blood is going all over you. So it's flowing all over you. So those two things are very important. It doesn't matter the guy collapsed. The two things are most important. So okay, after that has been sorted out, then we can, okay, the guy is breathing, the guy is having heart effort. Good. So let's just put him proper. There's nothing to do again. We can't do anything. Let's just then try and call his name. If you know his name, Mr. X. Sometimes maybe that's why he will listen, he will hear or something. He will wake up. Sometimes it might be hunger. You will not know. But you see, that's all this first aid kit. It is mandated that in every public institution, banks, schools, garages. So let's put government inside the matter too. We don't even go after the banks too. Garages, petrol stations, all these things have to be made available. Standard first aid boxes to be made available there. So if anybody collapses, just go there, pick the thing, look, do whatever you have to do, and then sort the person out. But they are not there. Even if they are there, somebody will uplift the thing and move, and nobody will say anything for it. So don't bother government saying it. We are bad. Government is worse. It's just a marriage of
bad and worse.
Of bad, yes. So it's
all right. Thank you so very much, Doctor. But just to round your thoughts, maybe in 30 seconds, help us. There are post-traumatic effects. These things happen, and it doesn't just go. For example, an accident victim who escaped death, who saw death in his very eyes like this, will be having what we call trauma. How do we help traumatic people?
It's post-traumatic disorders.
Yeah. PTSD.
If you've had a life-defining moment, you will relive the moment. You know.
So how do I help myself?
The Yorubas have a proverb for it. Wọ́n sọ pé ẹni tí Ṣàngó bá tojú ẹ̀jà kò ní tún bá wọn bú ọba kò so mọ́. So the Yorubas have experienced post-traumatic stress disorders before.
All right.
You know,
but
so
how do you medically? How do you help?
Usually, the best bet is that even for the survivors of the accident, the one that walked away from the accident, they still get to go talk to their psychiatrist. You see, ultimately, both the survivors and the morbid people, the only people that get to be carried away are the dead.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't need any other care. But the people that are alive, even those that are going to lose a limb from the accident, people got to a point where they will not be able to apply that particular road for the fear
of what happened.
All
right.
So they need psychiatry check for post-traumatic people. Especially this kind of accident, very vital. And all this are things that is mandate government. These are the government parts. It's not people that you do this one for themselves.
All right.
Medical insurance, so that you don't have to pay for it. You just go make up an appointment, go walk into somewhere, and then they will see you, they will talk to you, and then they will debrief you. That's the whole process.